Welcome back to Prince of Persia 2008. So, if I understand, yeah, I think it's time to finally chase out the hunter from its hideout. So it's time to defeat him once and for all.
Yay!
Aren't you excited?
It's
Woo!
truly the greatest thing since living in a gangster's paradise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or an Amish paradise, as Weird Al Yankovic
Again,
put it.
like I said, the way that the tracker work with you is bad. I kind of like it in the sense that it gives you a general direction, but it doesn't, give you like an entire quest marker or say, oh, like a glowing thing in a distance, say you should go there. It only gives you like a general idea, and then you're doing the rest. I mean, if it wasn't for the more scripted. Oh, geez. If it wasn't for more scripted platforming sequences, it honestly would have been interesting for an exploration type of game. But alas. Again, you have only like 2 or 3 enemy types like that, but thankfully these ones are actually easy to dispatch. As soon as you corner them, the prince basically just fishes them off. So if you're having trouble, like it's best if you just just corner them, like pushing them and everything. Ominous.
Foreboding.
Basically, one specific fertile ground is connected to the entrance to the general's hideout. I just wasn't in the proper one, so I'm just positioning myself to basically go there, and we will trigger a cutscene where basically it's kind of like hold on.
We have. The fertile ground's at the top of that windmill, but we'll have to go round the outside of it to get to the plates.
Oh, actually, never mind. I completely forgot. My bad. We're just doing this fertile ground before tackling the hunter down for good. Forgot we did just 3 and not 4. Basically, yeah, black gates. Like you mentioned, these are the ones that are connected to the general's hideout. Once you clean all the other 4 fertile grounds, they will open and will allow you to tackle the general directly and finally defeat him or her for good. There we go. Like I said, out of all the generals, the hunter is middle ground for me. It's not my least favorite, but it's not even, that I appear because of the annoyance factor. It's not as annoying as the concubine, but I don't really care about him. There we go.
It is weird how he never speaks, whereas the others do. Well, okay, 2 of the others do.
Actually, all of them do, even the warrior at some point. But the hunter actually has listed a voice actor. They didn't bother to having a voice actor in English, just the French one. Since it does only, screeches and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean, though, is like, well, they don't really speak. Is what I mean.
And anyway, time for a clockwork puzzle. Basically, similar to the one that we faced in Forgotten Century HD, ironically. We need to move, in this case, there you go, the platforms, the circles, so that the platforms of our mast matches correctly. Your major enemy here is Elika's AI. Why? You need both characters to follow those levers, and 9 times out of 10, Elika completely ignores your input of trying to, moving them properly. So as you can imagine, it becomes very annoying, so I need to speed things up.
God dang it, AI.
So what music is this?
Bonus round, the Donkey Kong Country 2.
Okay.
I was still watching the completionist back then, so yeah.
So when in doubt, rare?
That's it.
Let's get up there.
Sure.
Yeah, please.
Well, hey, I'm sure raring to go for some new Rare titles. Not done by Rare themselves, I digress, but still. Although, admittedly, that new Battletoads game is also being done with Rare helping. I'll admit, though, I'm starting to see why some people may not be too keen about it, mainly from the looks of it. Don't really care for that Dark Mistress redesign.
Honestly, Jova, it's not really what we did for her design. It's the fact that they didn't even bother with the cloth, the color matching scheme.
I mean,
So
she
it's just
looks...
random.
She doesn't look like a proper queen or anything dressed like that. She looks more like a henchman.
She looks more like a foot general, lieutenant. Not like that. Her color scheme was red, a bit red and black. Now instead it's just purple. Like.
Yeah. That, and I get it, we have to make it her outfit not as risque, but man, that outfit is just dull.
Anyway, time for another puzzle. Apparently this entire meal was operating with this contraption thing. I know that it's still like the logic that we use also in God of War. I mean, ancient civilization with huge, overcomplicated machinery, but thankfully this one is much more merciful because it basically is tied only to 3 of the platforms. So basically, and one of them is basically just prepared for you. So all you need to do is to basically prepare the other 2 and then you're set.
As simple
Come
as
on,
that.
Elika, please.
Or at least it would be.
Move. Oh my god, Elika, Jesus.
Come on! What do you do in a game that requires
And
use
she
of
teleported.
AI? You make the AI dumb as a bunch of rocks.
I am so sick of finding glitches in this Prince of Persia game, I swear to god.
That's Ubisoft for you.
That's the thing, Jova. That's the weird thing. This happens only when I decide to record them. When I play them leisurely on my own, at least for the first time, these shits never happened, or at least not in this kind of, visible way.
Basically, too, you are taking a ride on what we officially call the recording curse train.
Lol.
At least we can move on.
It really is an amazing thing, the recording curse. Like, the ability for everything that can go wrong to go wrong, yes, obvious law aside.
Anyway, there we go. We're almost at the top of the meal.
What's this? The hunter is becoming the hunted. Any minute now.
No, I was just checking because, that's supposed to be a ramp, so am I allowed to go there like that? And
Yeah.
yes I am.
The lighting there was a bit iffy, I'll admit.
No,
too.
it was the obliquousness, the inclination of the ramp. It made it look like I was supposed to slide from the other side. There we go.
Something I can hit.
Okay.
So, this is the final fight, I guess.
Actually, no.
Oh wait, no, that's right, the second to last one
But
for
we
this guy.
we are close, thankfully.
I
The
forgot,
good thing
yeah.
about this is that since it's a closed arena, you have basically all the opportunities to push the hunter on a corner and reduce his health more than more than you can. The problem is he puts up a lot of barriers, and you need to check what you can hit him with. It basically becomes this weird war of attrition. More so than, say, the warrior. Jesus. Yeah, that's the thing. There's also no real pattern of which the general would put up the barrier. It can literally happen at random and screw you over at the last possible minute. So, that's nice.
Thanks, Elika.
With an L, Jova.
Elika.
Yeah. Forgot if it's a reference to something specific, but it's entirely possible considering the Zoroastrianism. Yeah, thanks, Elika, we know. Another thing, basically, due to, maybe you're thinking, oh, well, what if I attack the general that has put up the barrier with what I can't hit him with? In this case, for example, Elika, if he puts up the barrier where it can damage only with the sword. She will basically be knocked out and you will not be able to use her for combat. But don't worry, you still can. So you have all these situations where Elika is injured or out of commission for fights and all, but she can still heal you if you die.
It really just seemed like the mechanic to have her save you from everything was a tacked-on mechanic, and well, if that's the case, then it's an even worse situation.
It really feels it was put at the last second.
That said, though, that kind of makes it even worse, though, because you have to wonder how bad things were for them to implement that issue.
Also, you may have noticed that your health system is represented by the FPS lines, in a sense that the more you get damage, the more you get those red borders at the screen. I honestly don't like it that much. And the previous Prince of Persia games shown that you can have an HUD that functions basically without interfering too much on the screen, so you could have that. I mean, otherwise you had only the boss help on screen, so why would you not add something else which has space for it?
That's a very good question.
Well, that's a good question. Anyway, there's the fertile ground, so let's get to it. Elika, please. Yeah, there we go. I was checking if I could jump or just lie down. There we go.
Behold the power of invincible helper!
And orgasm.
Kind of awkward, that one bit.
There we go. And these should open the black gate, as stated.
Which should be the final gate for the hunter.
Yeah, at least for the hunter.
See, you don't always have to wait for things. You have to make them happen.
No duh.
Look around.
It's connected to what...
Die in the next 5 minutes. Then where would waiting have gotten?
Ah, that's cute. Dear. That's cute, dear. He said we could actually die in 5 minutes. Like, the death is even a possibility. Like, gameplay
Well, for all we know, the script was written before that mechanic was implemented.
I'm just saying, gameplay story segment be damned. If your character literally can't die, you have no business writing that into the story.
Is that a good thing?
You can enter the corrupted sanctuary.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was still muted. Basically, I agree with Jova.
Yeah. It's like, look, here's the thing. The LEGO games, yes, you technically can't die in those, but LEGO games don't take themselves this seriously, so they get a pass because they're more comedic. Heck, they even have characters literally losing their heads and walking away with it because, well, they're LEGOs.
And even then, like the Warland games proved, you can have a game where you don't die and still have challenge in other ways.
Yeah, like with Warland, it's like, well, sure you can't die, but you can lose coins and that'll bar you from getting certain rewards. You know, that's also what the LEGO games do, too.
Technically speaking, that's what happened with the Dark Souls game when you think about it. It don't properly... Well, the game tells you that you are dead, so it's not like you cannot die. But your death is more of a relative concept. Your progress isn't completely in vain, and you lose something, in return. So, it's just a matter of finding this balance, something that this game clearly didn't.
Generations of Ur gave their lives to stop Aram in returning. I have their strength as well as mine.
You haven't answered our question.
So here's my question. If they had the same powers as you did, how did any of them die? No, I'm not letting it go, even if the story doesn't acknowledge it, but she can revive that prince countless times. So if they all had the same powers she did, how the hell did they lose?
Because they suck.
Must have.
Or maybe they underestimated Ahriman.
Again, they literally have the power to revive from anything.
Well, it's like, Joe, I forgot. Have you read the Silmarillion?
No.
Ah, you should. It's basically the Tolkien version of the Bible, basically. One of the things that happened, it's told in a more mythological way, but one of the things that happened is that, I think you have to understand, to put in perspective of the Lord of the Rings movies, is that the big bad of the Silmarillion is a guy called Melkor or Morgoth. And to keep power level perspective, Sauron is kind of like Raditz, while Morgoth is kind of like Majin Buu. To give
Really?
a difference in power level. Sauron was basically kind of like the tip of a nail compared to him. He was one of his generals. But what the thing that happened is that he sealed constantly, and at some point, a set of elf sentries, camps, and everything are set around the perimeter of his prison to check him, and it happens for like big 200 years. I forgot the specific time. But basically, what happens is that even the elves, despite being powerful and all, at some point they underestimate that. Result, the elves are almost completely extinct from that accident. It's basically a thing that happens in all the mythological elements. Ancient evil, repressed, and even a race that is powerful, is not able to stop it. Not to mention, remember also Jova, or Elika is tapping into Orma's direct power, like the other aura, which would mean it would cost her life because supposedly they're draining her. So take that for what you want.
Alright, I guess it just again boils down to the story telling us this rather than showing.
Yeah, I mentioned this in the previous part. It's a problem of telling and not showing. I honestly don't know if it was the intention all along or just, just a thing that happened, unfortunately.
I'm just gonna say right now, reboots are one of the worst places to do more telling than showing. Like, for as much garbage as I'll give the New 52 for what it did, at the very least, it was a concentrated effort to definitely show the changes in the DC universe at the time. Like, there was a lot of showing how different things were here and there, for better or for worse. Here, though,
you want a reboot that both shows and tells. The Doom 2016 reboot counts to the point where the way it's constructed, people are doubting it's even to be considered a reboot at this point.
Oh yeah, honestly,
what it tells.
Honestly, despite it being called a reboot, a lot of people agree for it to be the pretty much Doom 4 when you get down to it.
Again, Jova, remember, according to that, every single Doom WAD is canon in some fashion, including the non-safe for work one or the one with Batman.
Would
That's
that
how
surprise
insane
you?
they're going. I mean, I know I shouldn't, but I just really love the way ID is treating the property right now.
I know, right?
Jesus.
Well, it's normally pretty good.
Yeah, but you have to understand, Reeves, like I think I mentioned this in another playthrough, they had to remain, dormant or quiet for a long time because of their financial situation until they were fully acquired by Bethesda. Were able to start things up properly again.
For better or for worse. Well, okay, for better in that one.
Well, for better, Jova. Honestly, that's the problem. The only one of their major IPs that right now is in a bad situation is, Commander Keen. But that's how Bethesda is treating it, because ID is only a very limited consultant way in what we're doing with that horrible mobile game.
Yeah.
They couldn't even be bothered to re-release the previous title as a collection. I mean, they are on Steam, but at least do that for also the modern systems.
So, Mr. Hunter, what else you got? Of course.
Well, how about another trap? That was just rude.
So rude.
We okay? We good? Alright, let's fight some more.
Round 2. Basically, it's a smaller arena.
Oh no.
Well, that just means I can corner him easily, Jova.
Which is why I'm like, yeah, that pretty much just made things worse for him more than it made for us.
Well, that's the thing. The idea supposedly is that he can also corner you, but you really, really need to suck at some VQTs in order to fail that much. The only ones that I can potentially suck if he tries to after the
or when he tries to cover the screen like a cheap bastard. Again? Oh. Huh. Okay then.
Alright, time to retrieve on the last platform for round 3. If
If
I can make it.
It's okay, Elika is here.
Well,
Yeah,
for
I was
the-
about to say, it's not like you're gonna suffer any consequences for this.
For the double jump, I can understand Elika's mechanic, so at least I'm a bit more merciful on that. Now it's where things are getting bullshit, because now the entire perimeter of the arena is coated with the corruption, meaning that you cannot step into that, so you cannot corner him anymore.
Joy. Makes you wonder why he didn't open up with this now. Some hunter you are.
Well, I'm guessing much more like any other major hunters, he's very overconfident, therefore he tends to have these.
I guess. Should make you guess more and that he doesn't, speak. Again, honestly,
That's also another problem. When they put up the barrier, some of these generals, as you can see, have an easy time avoiding your sword attacks. So, there you go. So, sometimes they put up the barrier, you try to attack them, only for them to evade it the last second, basically punishing you. So, it's not exactly super nice.
Why does he even bother with those screen covering moves if they disappear so quickly? Like, at this point, all you gotta do is just constantly block when he's got the screen blocked like that.
Well, it's just there to annoy you, Jovine. Honestly, when it comes to... Even though I normally don't care about those, they're still annoying here.
Yeah.
Also, I think if you use Elika, they disappear quicker, but I don't remember specifically.
Get it? Cause she lights up the darkness.
Well, that's her powers, so...
See, all
Okay.
this is... this is fine, it's just the death having no meaning that bothers me.
Yeah. There we
The rest-
go.
This is all stuff I've seen plenty of times before.
And stay down.
Please?
And
Oh,
now
look,
it's...
he's
I get this, Pedro. It's time to use the right... I forgot what it's called. The passage right from 510. The one that Yuna uses. The trespassing thing.
What's the name? Oh, God. Sending.
Yeah,
Yes.
the sending. There you go.
The setting ceremony.
With an explosion. Michael Bay would be so proud.
I'm sure now he can
Unfortunately-
rest in peace.
But don't you see, Tail? That monster envies the living, and in time, that envy turned to greed, even hate.
So here's the
And
deal,
now it's
every
time
time
to
you beat a
roast the
hunter,
suffering.
and then you have to
Yes.
get the heck out of Dodge because, of course, in typical fashion, the place is coming down because you beat the boss.
Yeah, is the boss connected to the foundation? Or...
This is a really weird decision for the architect part.
It's a
It
kind
is.
waves. I'm not. Is back to the waves about the fact that if you fail, you're still allowed to restart from the beginning. So it's not like it reloads like a checkpoint. No. It literally just blocks you and puts you back before you started. But so when it was, it's kind of reset.
Wow.
Like what the hell?
Okay.
Why are we going inside the architect place where it's building and crumbling? Why not just fly outside easily?
There we go. Oh.
We made it! We made it!
We did it!
No, it's Seamus, we did it!
Yeah, I was gonna make that freaking choke.
Also, she goes around barefoot.
Yeah, that has gotta hurt. Well, then again, he kind of does too.
Rapunzel also does that.
He has
wait, he has
combination
sandals.
Of, yeah, a combination of sandals and boots, Red Desert Wander and everything.
On there. You're not gonna start leaping around, yowling, are you?
Holy cow, you are so much Nathan Drake.
Uh,
I wouldn't mind if only for the fact that, I don't know, there's a sense of humor Prince of Persia has. Nathan Drake stuff isn't quite it. Granted, maybe it could work. It's just, it feels so surreal for some reason.
also, tips Fedora.
It's like if you're playing a if you're playing a game.
Wah.
Let's say you like you wanted just to play,
Tell me about your family.
and then all of a sudden a guy from Gran Turismo shows up.
What do you think, Pedro?
Wanna play a game? Come on,
I don't know.
The world
To be honest.
and you want to play a game?
Well, anyway, we defeated finally one of the generals, so 1 down, 3 to go.
Guys, life isn't a game.
Wow, get it? Because it's a video game.
Okay, Crisis to Insanity is quite possibly the only video game I've ever seen actually do that joke well.
Again, Joe, it honestly requires the right context to me because you know it's something like this happens also in the Jack 3, you know, where it's also scarily very close to the climax. So you're just having this situation where you have to repel this invasion, and out of nowhere you get one of the NPCs telling you, "Oh, this isn't a game," with Jack and Dexter turning awkwardly towards the camera. It's like that's out of nowhere. Anyway, see you for the next part where we start tackling the other generals.
See you
All right.
then.
All right.
See ya.
See you then.
See ya.